The Glasshouse Mountains are a collection of volcanic plugs, sticking out of an otherwise flat Sunshine Coast terrain. Mount Gungun is one of the smallest of these mountains, at only 253 metres above sea level. Despite its height, Mount Gungun is home to 171 routes. Despite the suburban sprawl encroaching on this mountain, Mount Gungun still has a feeling of being in the Aussie bush. With many easy grades available, this mountain is a natural progression from Kangaroo Point.
Alright, so it's Cliffhanger's tradition to get a pre-sandwich pie in the Glasshouse Mountains.
In 5 seconds.
Absentia is a route I bolted and climbed when I was a kid in high school. I was 15 or 16 years old. You know, we used to walk from the train station with this generator, 30-metre extension cord, obviously the drill bits, the bolts, a trad rack, all this stuff. And like, we used to just sort of breeze along. I think I must have been quite fit as a young kid. I had no idea really how to place carrots. I'd read about them in magazines, and the idea was you file them down and you kind of hammer them into holes and they kind of work. Certainly half the carrots I put in there took 10 or 15 bashes to get in, and half of them took about 1.5 bash to get in. I bolted the route with this dodgy generator and the extension cord with this drill that wasn't even a rotary hammer drill, so it took sort of 20 minutes to drill one hole. Trust me, they're bomber. So that's Absentia, literally the first descent.
It's beautiful, it's beautiful. That one's sharp actually.
So projecting routes means working a route and trying the moves over and over until you finally can eventually string it together. And this is really the only way to find out what your physical limit really is, by continually working those moves until you eventually can put the whole route together. I just thought I'd give it a go these last few years, and I found it really quite an absorbing process. Rather than trying to climb the route the first time from the ground up, you're actually working on something really at your physical limit with quite difficult moves, and stringing them all together is a difficult process. It's an interesting process too, because you really do need to fail in order to find out where your limit is. So Acid's a beautiful route. Originally was set up as a grade 22, up a gently overhanging wall, and then traversing gently into the more difficult part of the route, which is up the steepest part of the wall. So one thing about projecting is you're going to fail, you're going to fall off, and you're going to fall off, and you're going to fall off. And it's the only way you can find out what your real limit is.
I'm on acid. I feel like I'm on acid. It's 27. It's hard. It's not that hard. Feels like I can do it. It can't be that hard.
Yeah, I've been on acid 3 times. Pretty sure I'll get up it. Doesn't feel too hard. It feels really hard, but it doesn't feel so hard that I won't be able to get up it. I mean, it can't be that hard if I can do it.
It's just dangling. Yeah. Yeah, it'll go. Pretty sure it'll go. So I'm happy I just enjoy working it.
Hi, I'm Dave Reeve. I'm the president of the ACAQ. The ACAQ is the peak body representing recreational climbers in the state of Queensland. An exciting development for us has been working with Minister Dixon's department to bring climbing to the forefront of developments at Glasshouse National Park. Today we are climbing one of the most iconic climbs in southeast Queensland, which is Caves Route on Mount Tibrogarden. Okay, so the cave route comes up through, that's Cave 1. and it comes up into the base of Cave 2, which is this big system here. And then up and around the corner we have Cave 3. I climbed Cave 3 50 years ago, and I have never got sick of climbing it. People come back to climb this sucker over and over again. It is such a great experience. There is something special about Caves Road as it makes its way up the face right under the nose of old man Timbro as he stares out to sea. Climbing Caves Road is not difficult. It was first climbed in 1929, and really all you need is common sense and a head for heights.
These days, Mount Tibrogargan is more renowned for its mega classic sport lines at Upper Slider Wall.
Hi, I'm Russell Bright. I've been climbing for over 10 years and I love it. I hope to be doing it until a late age.
I live just on the other side of that hill. In less than 20 minutes I can get here if I drive fast and run up. And I've been climbing here since about 2004.
Matter's a classic 25. I really enjoy it. I've climbed it thousands of times probably, and I still enjoy it every time. It's a great training route because it's reasonably sustained all the way. There's no real stop and moves. Upper Slider's a bit steeper. There's lots of little bulges with edges over them. If you've never been there before, you could count on throwing over the bulge and be certain you'd hit some sort of an edge. Some of the routes share the odd hold, but you quite often use them differently. This has its advantages anyway, because you can make some great link-ups.
Russell, this is his crag. Anybody that wants to climb at Slider, we just send him a message, hit him up on Facebook, and he can normally pop out. A bit different now, he's got the kid. But yeah, he can climb everything here, pretty much up, down, across, diagonally. He's just sort of climbed everything here. He's kind of like the crag stick clip.
If I had to choose between climbing hard grades or goofing around and having a bit of fun with my friends, I'd definitely pick the goofing around option. Although I think it's possible to do both. Slider's a great route, good first lead at the grade. I think it was my second lead.
So one of the first times I ever came climbing was out here at Mount Tibrogargan. And we were out walking one day, we came across a slider wall, came with a rope, one set of quick draws, 2 harnesses and 1 set of shoes, and we thought we were unstoppable that day. Down at Lower Slider we struggled to get up one route, and then we looked at all the other climbers climbing their hard projects, and when we looked up here at Upper Slider Wall, we saw a climb called Slider, which was graded at 22, and at the time that seemed like the hardest grade in the world. And it took me years to be able to climb up to that level. That's Slider there. Russell Bright's climbing it at the moment. He climbs it for breakfast, but I still haven't managed to pinch the ascent on that one.
As anyone that's ticked Slider would know, there's a notorious plummet from the anchors. So many take it when they're working the route. I know I certainly did. Squilla's a 3-star classic. It's quite sustained for a 23. When I do the crux of Squilla, I take a left-hand variant, which is a bit more dynamic.
The first I heard of this crag was a friend of mine down Pitt. Found it on a rainy day when he couldn't climb, and he just went for a bushwalk, and he'd been telling us about it for a few months. And then it was another rainy day. There was me and another guy, Scott Lawrence, supposed to go climbing, got rained off, and we all sort of came out here for a walk. And we only really looked down at Lower Slider there. to start with, and came back a couple of weeks later and started hand drilling a few bolts, put up a couple of roots on the end, and we decided it was too much hard work and we needed someone with a drill. So we gave Gareth Llewellyn a call, and he came up here, and it all started from there. That's when he came up to Upper Slider and put up Howler.
People climb for so many different reasons, pushing the grades. To me, grades aren't everything. I mean, they're important. But to me, it's more about being out in beautiful places with great people and having a bit of fun. Mount Tibrogargan's a beautiful place. There's always something new to see. Even after 10 years, I still see new flowers when I'm walking out. I'm just fortunate to have it in my backyard.